Let's gear up the next panel discussion of the day. The topic is building an agile and hybrid K-12 school education system. To deliberate on this, I would like to call on stage 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗏, Principal KL International School, Meerut, CBSE awardee and city coordinator, to come and moderate this wonderful session for 𝗟𝗏𝗎𝗻𝗎 भारत के आत्मनिर्भर शिक्षक. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's very difficult to be taking the pre-lunch session. You know, you're hungry and you're about to move, and our job is to make you stay for some more time. But let me appreciate Mana sir for being very passionate in talking about teachers, talking about education, and I feel he followed exactly the ABC, very accurate, very brief, and very clear about teacher and education. We've been listening. I thought, let me show you a video which will make you understand the job we are doing and how passionate we are about our job. So can you play the video? Please see the expression, please listen the lines carefully.
कहते हैं जब एक अच्छा टीचर लाइफ की लेसन दे जाए तो वो जिंदगी भर याद आती है. यही सोच के यहाँ आता हूँ कि आज इन्हें लिटरेचर से ज़्यादा कुछ और सिखा पाऊँ. मुंशी प्रेमचंद के बारे में मैं तुम लोग को एक दिलचस्प बात बताऊँ, और हर रोज़ फेल हो जाता हूँ. ये चेंज नहीं संडे को नहीं आ रहा तो तुम्हें बताया क्यों नहीं? हाँ ₹300 हुए सर. ये लो. छुट्टा नहीं है सर. ओ भाई छुट्टा है? नहीं है सर. कितना कुछ सिखाने की कोशिश की है, पर अगर कोई बार बार सिखाने पर भी भूल जाए तो शायद मुझ में ही कोई कमी होगी. लाइन लंबी है, चल भी नहीं रही. हाँ तुम खाना खा लो, मुझे देर हो जाएगी.
तुम लोग जाओ, मैं आता हूँ. हेलो सर. कुछ दिनों से देख रहा हूँ आप काफ़ी परेशान लग रहे हैं. कभी कैश की टेंशन तो कभी छुट्टी की झिकझिक. अब कैश की जगह अपना कार्ड यूज़ कर सकते कहीं भी.
अच्छा,
मैं सिखाऊं? अब अपना एटीएम पिन डालिए. याद रहेगा ना सर?
कहते हैं जब एक अच्छा टीचर लाइफ की लेसन दे जाए तो वो जिंदगी भर याद आती है. थैंक यू.
So I think a big clap for all the teachers who always give a lesson of life every day to all of us. Thank you, Times to Grow, and founder CEO Mr. Manmeet Khurana for bringing all the educators under one roof. And thank you very much for promoting educators and education at the same time. Thank you, Manmeet ji, for honoring all of us here. I'm happy, and I can see our Vice Chairman, sir, is also here, Mr. Tejendra Khurana. Welcome for this wonderful session, sir. I have a very erudite panel, and I can welcome all of them. Dr. Gurpreet Singh, Founder, Director, Scholars Home International. Aishwarya Goel, Director, Little Hearts Group of Schools, Bhiwani. Madam Monica Ahuja, Principal, the Elizabeth Guava School, New Delhi. We have Dr. Himani Tyagi, Principal, the Millennium School, Greater Noida. Dr. Sangeeta Arora, Madam, Principal, Kothari International School, Noida. Sunita Madan, Madam, Principal, Salwan Public School, Trans Delhi. and Annie Williams, Principal, Raghav Global School, Noida. I think a big clap for all the panelists here. Welcome, friends. And I'll start with a lighter note because we are going to talk all about education. And 𝗙𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 Productivity Action Coach. Please, sir, please. So panelists, dear panelists, be careful. We are between lunch and the audience. So we have to, we have to remember our time, and we have to understand, we have to speak on school education system, then we have to talk on 21st century curriculum, and then again thinking and creativity all about education. I remember, on a lighter note, please listen carefully. We are doing a workshop, and we asked some of the panelists what they said. Please take it on a lighter note. Government, they want all celebrations and pictures to be uploaded. That is government. Honors, they want good schools, good profit. Teachers, they want silence in the classroom, noise in the staff room, pay commission. Parents, they are looking for IIT selections, IIM selections. Students, they are looking for games period. So now the question is, where is education here? You start from top to bottom, the word education is missing somewhere. And I think we have wonderful members here. I think we'll start with Madam. So the first one is how we are going to improve K-12 school education system. Because we have to understand what is the purpose of education and what is the purpose of schooling. If we understand that, we can make a wonderful K-12 school education system. Starting with Madam, please. Your views.
Good afternoon. As Sir said, I'll not be much of a time between you and your food. So, as we all know, we are working in K-12 schools or in post K-12 schools called universities. The need of the hour is again critical thinking. So what I understand, if I go to again, we have heard a lot about NEP 2020 and art integration and all those things. So what is actually required is critical thinking on behalf of students, critical thinking by teachers, and critical thinking by the school leaders. I will not call principal, because principal is just a name, whereas we need good educated leaders who can think themselves critically also on the way we have to change, on the way we have to progress, on the way we have to give that affirmation, we have to give that independence to the children to reach that NEP 2020 goal. So what I understand is the creativity will move us to the competency, and those competencies can only be created by creativity, which will move us to the critical thinking aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Madam, I think we are always talking about educating learner for their future. And I think their future is what we are looking at. And then we see the other side where we move from blackboard to whiteboard, from pen to pen drive, from smart class to smartphones. So how do you think we'll bring all this into school education system for students, for parents?
I'll start with my previous experience, बचपन का story
Please,
सुनाएंगे. एक बार मैंने, I was in class 10 or something, so that time that critical thinking, creative thinking came into being, especially in West Bengal education. So we were made to that new essay will come, that is on cemetery. श्मशान घाट के ऊपर essay आएगा इस बार. So हमने बहुत अच्छा श्मशान घाट के ऊपर essay तैयार किए. But class 10 में मैम ने दिए cow, गाय के ऊपर लिखने का. अभी क्या करें? So then I killed the cow, I wrote the what is cow, killed the cow and took him to the Sashan Ghat cover description. Now I have, the same thing happened here. I was giving a topic, तो उन्होंने बोला topic change कर दिए, बोले आप क्या करें? Now I'll do the same. So I'll take to the future ready school as he is.
No, please,
God.
please.
We'll be talking what is required. What is required for the student is first thing life skill, values, because during the corona also you saw how values were declining, how cheating was happening, how children were going down. So values, life skill and future readiness for everything, for education, for life skill, for everything, future readiness. What do you mean by that future readiness? I'll tell you another story, okay? So in 2008, you remember, MOOC came into being. इसकी पहले, before that, MOOC was tried. Okay, there was a many online education का ये हुआ था, but the MIT was the first one to start MOOC. And I have heard a TED talk by 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. If you have heard that TED talk of 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲, he was talking about how in 200 years, education system is not changed. For 200 years, even MIT and Stanford and those universities are teaching in the same, in the blackboard, in the whiteboard, and that the students are sitting and listening. There was nothing changed. So he was talking about that. So I was very ambiguous and I was very happy to learn. So I was in 2013, I attended a MOOC session by hearing this that was on online teaching and learning, blended learning in 2013-14, you remember. And I tried on my school also, there, although I was a principal, but my director said it's a waste of time. Why you are spending so many period in blended learning online, which is not our cup of tea, which is not going to happen at least in 50 years in our country. That was in 2014. All right. And 2015, I was called, because of this course, I was invited by Delhi University. If anybody from Delhi University, you know, there was an 𝗟𝗏𝗏 project to train teachers. 𝗟𝗏𝗏 project, you know, all the teachers of Delhi University were taught to use digital. So I was one of the resource person there, and the teachers, university professors were very reluctant to learn about digital teaching. Then nobody knew about Corona in 2020, think of that. What happened? Suddenly I became a very popular and every college wanted to me as a resource person, ma'am, आप हमारे college में आए थे, but teachers ने कोई नहीं सीखा, अभी लीजिए, अभी सिखाइए. Now, so I was in a high demand that time. And thank God, because of my knowledge, advanced knowledge, I did not know that I was doing something great. It was a time pass. I hate watching TV. I don't like watching movies also much unless it is interesting. And so it was my time pass learning. It was nothing great I was doing. Okay, so I did not know it will happen. So future is so unpredictable. You understand? So always be future ready. You don't know learning, which learning is going to. Rabindranath Tagore said, জীবনের ধন কিছুই যায় না ফেলা, ধুলায় তাদের যত হোক অবহেলা. Means what you learn is going to stay with you. What you do is going to stay with you. Learning stays with you. So that is exactly happened when 2020 came. And now the digital learning has got many problems, but it is going to stay. So how do we solve the problem of digital learning? Because really parents do not want their children to have the phone. Some class 2 and 3 and 4 children, what they are telling me and coming, that what he is saying is very shocking. They are saying YouTube में 3x type करके देखो. Class 3 के student, can you imagine? So I said, what is that? So you just imagine they are doing that. Take it from me, you just be the watchdog for your children, watchdog for your students. Don't give mobile or too much gadgets in their hands. I'm very much against. But at the same time, this is going to stay. All right? This is going to stay with us, digital learning. So how do we overcome these problems? We have to think of. It's not that we are dumping digital learning. So we have future means we have to look for solutions to the problem, but we can't dump digital learning. That's the future of education.
Thank you for telling those two stories, madam. And I know stories have very strong impact. And খুবই ভালো বলছেন আপনি. Madam, we'll start with the opening note only to improve the K-12 school education system. I think I'll not move from that now. Please.
Greetings to each one of you. When we talk about improving the K-12 curriculum, I can think of one thing that over a period of time we have seen it is very content heavy. We have to move on to having it as a learner friendly, and when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about empowering the learner. Empowering the learner so that they are mindful learner. What ma'am has just given an example, and she used this phrase that it was a time pass learning, but she was learning because she was interested. She was interested, and it was not the part of her duty or any responsibility she has to learn this, but she was interested as well. She was learning it. So if we can make our curriculum, K-12 curriculum, in such a way that our children are interested to learn, we are done. So instead of passing on the content to them, which we have to do, because we know that they have to have these learning outcomes when they're growing up, there are certain milestones that they need to have it, and for the 3 R's that we focus on. But with those 3 R's, if we are able to have 4 C's with it, that is communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity, as ma'am has just talked about, I think we will be able to revamp our K-12 curriculum so that we have empowered, mindful learners. Thank you.
Great. It's simply, we always used to talk about teaching outcome, and what I understand from madam's talk, it's learning outcome as well. So I think next panelist, the same, your views.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me here. Good afternoon, everyone. So the answer to your question lies in the heading of this panel discussion, which is hybrid, an agile hybrid structure. So COVID-19 and the 2 pandemic years brought in a lot of learning for all of us. And as educators, now we have to take that learning forward. And I feel, and in my opinion, the way forward and to create global citizens is to embrace technology. As our earlier panelists also said, that technology is here to stay. So definitely it is here to stay, and we are the ones now as educators need to pick and choose how and what is to be imparted to our learners in a manner that they take the pros out of it. So everything has pros and cons. For example, we've had calculators for so many years. It has its own pros and cons, but it has not been banned. Now AI is coming in, and we are hearing so much about ChatGPT, as our earlier panelists also remarked. So it is up to us to make technology an ally. We cannot ban things, but yes, we can pick and choose what are the good parts out of the technology which can take our students forward and learners. So, for example, in my school, we pioneered the asynchronous and synchronous mediums to impart learning to our students, and that became a big hit. So taking forward the best that the technology has to offer is the way forward. That's how we are going to create global citizens, and also, as our Honorable PM says, make India a global superpower in education, a Vishwa Guru. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Talking about hybrid education, technology, I remember one question is frequently asked nowadays, technology, how much is too much? So we have to think on this also, how much is too much? I think next panelist, the same, we have to put our opening remark, and then we'll have some questions.
So first of all, definitely, if I look at my education 10 years back, so me being the youngest educator here, I guess. So what I have seen when I was in 10th class or 12th class, I have learned everything, whether it was physics, whether it was social science, whether it was any subject. So I think जो आप लोग भी educators हैं, आप लोग भी उसी लर्निंग के थ्रू गए हैं. उस टाइम पे द न्यू एजुकेशन सिस्टम वॉज नॉट देयर. द काइंड ऑफ लर्निंग वी वॉन्ट टू इम्प्लीमेंट नाउ वॉज नॉट देयर. सो वी वर लॉट लर्नर्स. एंड कहीं ना कहीं सबकॉन्शियसली कॉन्शियसली वो हमारे अंदर अभी भी है. सो फर्स्ट वी नीड टू लर्न अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स and we need to incorporate, so that was the need that time. So what Britishers did with us, they actually wanted to learn everything because us time computers nahi the, so that they could bring out the knowledge out of that, they could bring out the wisdom out of that. So now we need to teach the same thing to our students so that they can take out knowledge, they can take out wisdom out of the given information, and that's actually the critical thinking. That's how critical thinking will help students to enable in that thing. So how that will happen? So first I want to give example of, creating knowledge, creating wisdom out of the information. So now 𝗟𝗵𝗸𝗲 is here. What is 𝗟𝗵𝗸𝗲? अभी तक हम टेक्नोलॉजी की बात कर रहे हैं, अभी तक हम क्लासरूम्स की बात कर रहे हैं. You just Google 𝗟𝗵𝗸𝗲 and 𝗟𝗵𝗸𝗲 is artificial intelligence. What it does, whatever question you will ask from 𝗟𝗵𝗸𝗲, it will give you the answer in that way. Definitely it will be in the generalized form, but you will get the answer. So here we are the natural intelligence, and here we need to be conscious. We need to be the creator of our mother earth so that we can take over. We need to buckle up now because the artificial intelligence is very, very fast, and if we will not start regulating the emotions, and if we will not teach our students how to manage their emotions, the future is very, very dark. Because if I see the young adults around me, if I see the teenagers, more than 75% students are anxious. They are in depression. I won't use the word of depression, but I would say they are worried, they are anxious. So we need to make them emotional resilient, because जब students emotional resilient बन जाएंगे, तो they will cope up with the technology also. They will learn कि उनको technology का सही इस्तेमाल कैसे करना है, and they will know कि क्या चीज़ गलत है और क्या चीज़ सही है. Because emotional resilience includes their values, their belief system, their patterns, everything. हमने वेस्टर्नाइजेशन को बहुत जल्दी अपना लिया है, लेकिन हमने उसके प्रॉब्लम्स को समझते हुए उसके सल्यूशन नहीं किए हैं. वी आर जस्ट मूविंग अहेड कि अब ये नई चीज़ आ गई है तो इसको कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करें, अब ये नई चीज़ आ गई तो इसको कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करें. हैव वी लुक एट द प्रॉब्लम्स. मैम एक्चुअली सेड वेरी राइट. हम स्टूडेंट्स को सिखाएंगे तो दे विल नॉट लर्न, बिकॉज उनको लगता है कि हम तो टीचर्स हैं, हम तो सिखाएंगे ही और उनको सुनना भी पड़ेगा क्लासरूम में. बट इफ़ विल बिकम द फ्रेंड्स ऑफ देम, इफ़ विल सिट विद देम कि ओके यू नो व्हाट, मुझे भी ये प्रॉब्लम आया था मेरे लाइफ में, एंड मैंने भी सेम प्रॉब्लम किया, बट यू नो व्हाट, दैट टाइम आई डिडंट हैव नोबडी टू लिसन टू मी, एंड नाउ यू हैव दैट, यू नो यू कैन शेयर एवरीथिंग विद मी. So this is very, very important. Being with teachers, we will become the friends of them. We will teach them emotional resilience, and then technology, everything. Look, the tools will come. These are the tools, and these will actually enhance our productivity, enhance everything in our life. But the major part is our own. Sir actually rightly said, like in the panel, eminent personalities panel, कि हम अपनी values भूलते जा रहे हैं. अगर हम अपनी वैल्यूज़ भूल गए तो हम खुद को भूल जाएंगे. बिकॉज यू नो आई एम द पार्ट ऑफ मेंटोरिंग ऑल्सो. सो माई मेंटर व्हाट ही टोल्ड मी अ स्टोरी कि ही वेंट टू द गूगल हेडक्वार्टर्स, एंड वहाँ पे वो बहुत इंटेलिजेंट पर्सन से मिले. आप जो गूगल में जॉब कर रहे हैं, डेफिनेटली ही समथिंग. सो व्हाट ही टोल्ड दैट ही वॉज नॉट एबल टू लुक इन टू माई आईज. वो अपने काम में बहुत अच्छा था पर्सन, बट ही डिडंट नो हाउ टू कम्युनिकेट, ही डिडंट नो हाउ टू एक्सप्रेस हिमसेल्फ. द कम्युनिकेशन वी आर टॉकिंग, communication includes a lot of things, not just speaking. It includes listening, it includes comprehension, it includes so many aspects, how to express with the emotions. हम पब्लिक स्पीकिंग के इतने सारे से कोर्सेज आ रहे हैं जहाँ पे बच्चों को रोबोट बना दिया जाता है कि अच्छा आपको ऐसा ऐसा बोलना है, इस तरीके से बोलना है. So that's very, very important. We need to teach our students first manage their emotions, and then they can do anything, any way, in whatever way you want to teach them. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for reminding us again, learn, unlearn, and relearn. We should keep reminding each other. But NEP is telling one more line, thinking to learn, learning to think. We have to move on to that. whether we are in a phase of thinking to learn or learning to think. We have some 2 minutes left. I'm sorry. Madam, please.
Pranam everyone. Being a principal, I feel that we are also learners. I mean, this is what in the COVID times we have realized, that there is so much which we can also, as it was evident in the video also that we saw, that a teacher has to become a co-learner, and then only, we will be able to reach out to the young generation. And being an agile educational network, I feel we need to be resilient and flexible. I mean, only a few days back, there was a teacher who was in the play area with her kids, and I casually asked the children that, is this your, physical education period? They said, no, it's actually our SST period, but we were not in a mood to study because we have come after 1 week of holidays. The government had declared holidays. So the project which we were supposed to do, we have already done at home, and we have promised our teacher that we'll submit it online today evening itself. So what I'm saying is the teachers as well as the educators need to become flexible and resilient. And most of the points, of course, other members have shared. One point which I want to focus on is in future-ready schools, we need to focus on the fitness and the emotional well-being of the child. In the COVID times, we realized that people who came out victorious from this pandemic were the ones who were fit, who were able to take care of their health, and the ones who had good value systems and good family bonding. So I think these are the things, unfortunately, they are to be taught in the school now, because many a times the parents are not available at home to teach values or to teach how to cope with the failures. So with ChatGPT, I may be able to get 100 on 100 in the project that I make, but I need to learn how to fail or how to get less marks, so that I can improve on myself. And as rightly said by ma'am, human values and the life skills are very important. So technology is there to stay, and I'm a fan of technology. But in the classroom, when the children are in the classroom, we need to focus on teaching them how to learn, learning how to learn, because we don't know in 2030 or 40 what kind of jobs will be there. So we teachers, we are from another century for them. So I don't think we can teach them how to work. We can only teach them how to figure out things and overcome the challenges of the future. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. The last line was very important. We always read and we say to our teachers, I think teachers of yesterday are teaching the students of today and preparing them for tomorrow. So how we can bridge that gap, that is very, very important. I think, madam, your views, please.
Good afternoon, 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. Good afternoon, fellow panelists and the August gathering. I know time's up, but there are a few things I would want to say. I agree with what all has been already said very rightly. Everything that has been said is very relevant. But the bottom line is that the first question that you raised is that what is the purpose of K-12 education? So I feel it is to create wholesome individuals who can deal with life. So that is in nutshell the entire crux of education. And we've all talked about, we are educationists. We know we focus on academic achievement. But like other panelists said, that there is a lot more to education, rather than just academic. And ma'am very rightly said that in all this technology, in academics, somewhere the child is losing out. Physical fitness, being playful, how important is that? How much space does the child have to do that? So I think one area where schools need to step up is physical fitness, just being playful, having enough space in your timetables to let child be child. Because, sports, what they do is they teach you life skills. We've all been talking about social-emotional learning and life skills and physical fitness. I think one thing where our timetables lag and they need to sort of step up is physical infrastructure, the space for games and sports. Sports release endorphins. Endorphins lead to learning. So if a child is physically fit, the child would learn faster. So that is one thing. Then second thing is, we talked about technology, but more important is digital literacy today. How do I know how to keep myself safe on the internet? Do I know how to, protect my password? Children are so smart. I don't know if you've heard of 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲𝗏. 𝗟𝗶𝗏𝗲𝗏 is a 9-year-old YouTuber who earns 29.5 million a year.
Yes.
So a 9-year-old child having that kind of earning, he is in the list of Forbes millionaires. So what can I teach that child who's already learning 29.5 million? So I think these children, like ma'am said, have a lot to teach to us. So we have to become those passionate teachers who are learners as well. Because it is not easy to teach this generation. They are way smart, they are adaptable, they are curious, and to be a passionate teacher is the only answer, I think. Schools have to speed up their PDs, their professional development. Teachers have to be really skilled. And again, like many panelists said, that we have to get into the mindset of being coaches. We have to create that space where we allow children to make mistakes, we allow them to take risks, we allow them to fail, right? So I think teacher and principals being coaches, and allowing that space for children to play, to children to indulge in sports, children to make mistakes, and create a happy space for the learner so that they can become wholesome individuals who can in general deal with life, be it technology or anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's all about the happy space. And I'll add up one thing, I'll add on that, NEP says here, the skill set we have, the students have, and the skill set they need. We have to find it out, and then we can do justice with them. Sir, you have to do justice with the time, with the audience. Please, sir.
Are you with me? So good morning.
It's good afternoon.
So there is nothing bad. I said good morning. Some people said it's good afternoon. Somebody said, yeah, khadi hai, time dekha nahi isne. Kya bol raha hai yaar ye? We are patrons. We are patrons. हम लोग उसी जो बचपन में सिखाया गया था हम उसी से चल रहे हैं. Where I got a concept कि यार जहाँ मिले वहाँ सवेरा हो गया ना. तो good morning कर ली. So these patterns we have to break. And how we can break it? I'm a productivity coach based on neuroscience and psychology. My name is 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗲𝗏. And I wanted to emphasize on 4 pillars of this K-12 model. The first is the communication. Communication में आज तक क्या हुआ? आज तक सिर्फ हमने ये सिखाया, बेटे ऐसे नहीं बोलते, हाँ ऐसे नहीं बोलना, ओए ना, But what we did is, have we told our child, बेटे ऐसा सुनना चाहिए, बच्चे ऐसे सुनो बैठ के, we haven't told. So listening power is very weak. Second, if I say the collaborations, collaboration could be vertical, it could be horizontal. अब भी आपने देखा मेरे एक्शन कुछ और है, बोल कुछ और रहा हूँ, because I wanted to break the patterns. So जैसे ही मैंने collaborations की बात करी, there is a pattern which is woke up, and I have to create another pattern, or how can I break that? I cannot remove that. Eraser नहीं है जो मिट जाएगा, मेरे को नया pattern create करना है. तो उसके लिए क्या करना है? मेरे को collaboration के लिए उसको ask सिखाना है, ask कि बेटा अगर कुछ नहीं है तो तेरे को पूछना है. बैकबेंचर कुछ नहीं होता. You have to ask. That's all. अपने colleague से पूछ, मम्मी से पूछ, पापा से पूछ, टीचर से पूछ. Ask anybody.
Sir, kindly summarize your words, please.
Sorry?
Summarize your words, sir. We are shortage of time.
Yeah,
please,
I'm
sir.
summarizing it. मतलब गाज तो मेरे ऊपर ही गिरनी थी ना. लंच के बीच में मैं ही तो आया हूँ बस. कोई बात नहीं. So मैं collaboration की बात कर रहा था. उसके बाद मैं बात कर रहा हूँ मैम critical thinking. Have I taught my child कि उसको surrendering कैसे करनी है? एक concept के लिए, एक leadership के लिए, वो मैंने नहीं सिखाया कभी. मैंने aggressive भाग बेटे भाग ये सिखाया मैंने. बट मैंने उस टाइप का सिखाया? नो, नथिंग. The fourth pillar is the creativity. Have I given enough space to my child? क्या मैंने उसको ये बताया कि बेटा ऐसा नहीं सोचते, हम खुद बड़े होकर यही सोच रहे हैं, यार लोग क्या कहेंगे? You know, मैं बोलने से पहले भी सोचता हूँ, मतलब हम लोग भी सोचते होंगे, जितने स्पीकर्स यहाँ बैठे हैं, या आप लोग भी सोचते होंगे, यार लोग क्या कहेंगे, यार ये ड्रेस ना पहन, ये मत ऐसे कर, lots of things which we blocked here. So have we taught our children that thing? अगर हमने वो किया तो क्रिएटिविटी आएगी, वो फ्रीडम मिलेगा, और अगर वो फ्रीडम मिल गया तो हैप्पीनेस गारंटेड है मैडम आपके लिए, क्योंकि मैंने खत्म कर दिया.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and sorry, we have to cut short your time. Thank you very much, all the principal friends, for putting your views. I can summarize in one word. We had an art competition and the students, they made some cartoons and they've written one line, teacher समझाते हैं, समझते नहीं हैं. So that was the buzz line, I remember, and they made it very clear, समझाते बहुत अच्छा है, पर समझते नहीं हैं. With that, thank you very much, and thank you all the panelists for being so supportive and understanding the thought process. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shekhar ji, for such a wonderful moderation, and thank you, panelists, for sharing your wonderful thoughts. Yes, very rightly said, technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. So I would like again request Shri Tajinder Khurana ji to come on the stage to cheer up our panelists and moderators. Please, sir. So it's time to recognize Shri Shekhar ji as moderator for this session. Dr. Gurpreet Singh. Shri Ashriya. Miss Monica Ahuja Rao, ma'am. Dr. Himani Tyagi. Dr. Sangeeta Arora. Miss Sunita Madan. Mr. Kuljit Marwa. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Let's capture the moment.